Jacek Malczewski, a luminary of Polish art, was born on July 15, 1854, in Radom, a city in the Mazovian region of what was then under Russian rule as part of the Polish-Lithuanian partitions. His life and work would become deeply intertwined with the Polish national spirit, reflecting a journey of self-discovery, cultural exploration, and artistic innovation. To understand Malczewski's contributions to art, one must first delve into his formative years, which were shaped by a unique confluence of personal tragedy, intellectual mentorship, and exposure to the socio-political turmoil of 19th century Poland. Malczewski was born into an educated but modest family. His father, Julian Malczewski, worked as a clerk and had a profound interest in history and literature, while his mother, Maria, passed away when Jacek was still young. This loss would leave an indelible mark on the sensitive boy, fostering a sense of melancholia and introspection that later permeated his art. Despite their limited means, the Malczewski family prioritized education and cultural enrichment, instilling in Jacek a deep reverence for Polish heritage and the arts. Growing up during a time of national upheaval, young Jacek absorbed the fervent patriotism that swept through the Polish territories. His father introduced him to the history of Poland's struggles for independence, a theme that would become a cornerstone of his artistic identity. The scars of the November uprising of 1830-31 and the January uprising of 1863 were fresh in collective memory, and these stories kindled in him a sense of duty to preserve Polish culture through his work. Jacek's formal education began in Radom, but his artistic inclinations quickly became evident. At the age of 13, he moved to Kraków, where he attended the prestigious St. Anne's Gymnasium. His time in Kraków exposed him to a thriving intellectual and artistic milieu that deeply influenced his development. It was here that Malczewski met and became the protégé of Antoni Zygmunt Helcel, a prominent historian and art enthusiast. Helcel encouraged Jacek to pursue art and provided financial and emotional support during his early years. In 1872, at the age of 18, Malczewski enrolled in the Kraków School of Fine Arts, which was undergoing a renaissance under the leadership of Jan Matejko, one of Poland's greatest historical painters. Matejko's influence on Malczewski was profound, though their styles diverged significantly. While Matejko focused on grand historical narratives, Malczewski would later carve out his niche in symbolism, blending allegory and personal introspection. After completing his initial studies in Kraków, Malczewski's ambition took him to Paris in 1876, where he attended the École des Beaux-Arts and studied under the tutelage of prominent French painters. The bustling art scene in Paris exposed him to a variety of styles and movements, including realism, impressionism, and symbolism. While he admired the technical mastery of artists like Gustave Courbet and Jean-François Millet, it was the symbolists who resonated most deeply with him, offering a language to express his complex emotions and nationalistic fervor. During his time in France, Malczewski also traveled extensively, visiting Italy, Germany, and Austria. These journeys allowed him to study the works of the old masters and absorb the artistic traditions of different cultures. However, despite the allure of Western art, Malczewski remained deeply rooted in his Polish identity. His time abroad only strengthened his resolve to create art that would reflect the unique struggles and aspirations of his homeland. Malczewski returned to Kraków in 1879, enriched by his experiences and ready to establish himself as a professional artist. The late 19th century was a time of cultural revival in Poland, with artists, writers, and musicians working to preserve and celebrate the nation's heritage under foreign domination. Malczewski became an active participant in this movement, drawing inspiration from Polish folklore, history, and mythology. In his early works, Malczewski experimented with a variety of styles, showcasing his versatility and technical skill. He painted portraits, landscapes, and historical scenes, each infused with a distinct emotional depth. These early years were marked by a search for identity, both personal and artistic, as he grappled with the tensions between tradition and modernity, individuality and collective memory. Malczewski's personal life during this period was as complex as his art. He was known for his introspective and often melancholic demeanor, traits that endeared him to some and alienated others. Despite his reserved nature, he formed close relationships with fellow artists, writers, and intellectuals who shared his passion for Polish culture. One of the most significant figures in his life was Maria Belowa, a socialite and art patron who became both his muse and confidant. Their relationship, though platonic, was marked by deep mutual respect and admiration. Maria's encouragement and support played a crucial role in helping Malczewski navigate the challenges of his early career. By the end of the 1880s, Jacek Malczewski had begun to emerge as a distinctive voice in Polish art. His work reflected a profound synthesis of personal experience, cultural heritage, and contemporary artistic trends. While his later years would see the full flowering of his symbolist vision, the foundations of his artistic philosophy were laid during this period. Malczewski's early life and formative years were characterized by a deep connection to his homeland, a relentless pursuit of self-expression, and a commitment to preserving the essence of Polish culture. These themes would continue to define his work, earning him a place among the great masters of Polish art and making him a symbol of resilience and creativity in the face of adversity. Jacek Malczewski's rise to prominence in the late 19th and early 20th centuries marked a period of intense creative exploration and refinement. Building on the foundations of his early years, Malczewski embraced symbolism, intertwining his art with allegory, mythology, and national identity. This phase of his life revealed a painter whose work transcended mere aesthetic appeal, capturing the complexities of the Polish spirit during an era of political oppression. By the 1890s, Malczewski had fully embraced symbolism, a movement that sought to express the intangible, emotions, spiritual beliefs, and universal truths. For Malczewski, symbolism became a vehicle to explore themes of life, death, freedom, and exile, concepts deeply ingrained in Poland's history and his own psyche. Unlike other symbolists who leaned toward abstraction or mysticism, Malczewski maintained a strong narrative element in his work, weaving together personal and national stories. Malczewski's art from this period is characterized by a unique visual language. He frequently employed allegorical figures, including angels, fauns, and mythical beings, juxtaposing them with realistic depictions of people and landscapes. His paintings were richly layered, inviting viewers to delve into their symbolism and interpret their deeper meanings. One recurring motif in Malczewski's work was the concept of Poland as a Christ-like figure, suffering for the sins of its oppressors and awaiting resurrection. This theme resonated strongly with Polish audiences, who saw in Malczewski's paintings a reflection of their own struggles under Russian, Austrian, and Prussian rule. In addition to his artistic pursuits, Malczewski became a prominent figure in Poland's cultural landscape through his teaching and mentorship. In 1897, he joined the faculty of the Krakow Academy of Fine Arts, where he taught a new generation of Polish artists. His students included some of the most important figures in early 20th century Polish art, such as Witold Wojtkiewicz and Władysław Jarocki. Malczewski's approach to teaching was unconventional and deeply personal. He encouraged his students to develop their individual styles rather than conforming to a single school or technique. This emphasis on individuality helped foster a diverse and vibrant art scene in Poland, with many of his protégés going on to achieve significant acclaim. As Malczewski's reputation grew, so did the demands on his time and energy. While he found success and recognition, his personal life remained complicated. His melancholic temperament and introspective nature often led to periods of isolation and creative struggle. Malczewski married Maria Gralewska in 1892, and the couple had 2 children, Julia and Rafał. Despite his family life, Malczewski often retreated into his work, using it as both an escape and a means of processing his inner turmoil. His relationship with his wife was reportedly strained, as his artistic ambitions frequently took precedence over domestic responsibilities. The early 20th century brought significant changes to the art world, with movements like Expressionism, Fauvism, and Cubism challenging traditional forms and concepts. While Malczewski admired the innovation of these modern movements, he remained committed to symbolism, viewing it as a timeless and deeply meaningful mode of expression. This resistance to fully embrace modernism sometimes placed Malczewski at odds with younger artists and critics, who saw his work as outdated. However, Malczewski's unwavering dedication to his vision ensured that his art retained its relevance and emotional power, even as trends shifted around him. By the early 1910s, Malczewski had achieved widespread acclaim, not only in Poland, but also internationally. His work was exhibited in major European cities, including Paris, Vienna, and Munich, earning praise for its technical brilliance and profound emotional depth. In 1912, he was appointed rector of the Krakow Academy of Fine Arts, a position that affirmed his status as one of Poland's leading cultural figures. However, his tenure as rector was short-lived, as he resigned in 1914, possibly due to the growing demands of his artistic practice. Malczewski's mature period is perhaps best understood as a dialogue between the personal and the collective. His art, while deeply introspective, also served as a mirror for the Polish psyche. At a time when Poland was fighting to preserve its identity under foreign rule, Malczewski's work provided a sense of hope, resilience, and continuity. Through his paintings, he captured the complexities of the Polish experience, the longing for freedom, the pain of exile, and the enduring power of faith and imagination. His use of allegory and symbolism allowed him to address these themes in a way that was both universal and deeply specific, ensuring that his work resonated with audiences across generations. As Jacek Malczewski entered the second decade of the 20th century, his work continued to evolve, reflecting the changing times and his own personal growth. While he remained true to the principles of symbolism, his later years would see a gradual shift in focus, as he grappled with the realities of an independent Poland and the challenges of aging. As the 20th century progressed, Jacek Malczewski faced a shifting artistic landscape, political changes, and personal challenges that would shape the final chapter of his life. Despite these obstacles, his later years were marked by an unwavering commitment to his craft and a deepening of the themes that defined his career. His legacy as a pioneer of Polish symbolism and a champion of national identity was solidified in these years, ensuring his place in the pantheon of great artists. The end of World War I in 1918 brought significant political changes to Europe, including the restoration of Poland's sovereignty after more than a century of partitions. For Malczewski, who had devoted much of his career to exploring themes of Polish nationalism and cultural resilience, this was a moment of profound personal and artistic significance. With the re-establishment of the Polish state, Malczewski's work took on a more celebratory tone. While his earlier paintings often depicted Poland's suffering and exile, his later works began to reflect themes of rebirth and renewal. However, these celebratory motifs were often tempered by an awareness of the sacrifices and struggles that had led to independence. His paintings during this period were a testament to his belief in the power of art to document history and inspire hope. In his later years, Malczewski's style evolved subtly, reflecting both his maturity as an artist and his response to the changing world around him. While he remained firmly rooted in symbolism, his palette grew lighter and his compositions became more introspective. Despite the joy of Poland's independence, the later years of Malczewski's life were not without difficulties. The artistic world was changing rapidly, with modernist movements such as Cubism, Futurism, and Constructivism gaining prominence. These new styles often overshadowed symbolism, which some critics began to view as outdated. While Malczewski's reputation remained strong in Poland, he faced criticism from younger artists and intellectuals who saw his work as a relic of the past. Nevertheless, Malczewski remained steadfast in his commitment to his artistic vision, refusing to conform to the trends of the time. His work continued to attract admirers, particularly those who appreciated its emotional depth and connection to Polish heritage. As Malczewski aged, his health began to decline, and his vision weakened, making it increasingly difficult for him to paint. These physical challenges were compounded by personal losses, including the death of his wife, Maria, in 1917. Despite these hardships, Malczewski remained active in the artistic community, mentoring younger artists and participating in exhibitions. His son, Rafał Malczewski, emerged as a talented painter in his own right, carrying on the family's artistic legacy. While their relationship was complex, with moments of tension and estrangement, Rafał's success brought Jacek a sense of pride and continuity. By the 1920s, Jacek Malczewski had become a revered figure in Polish art, celebrated for his contributions to symbolism and his role in preserving and promoting Polish culture. He continued to work, albeit at a slower pace, producing paintings that reflected his enduring passion for art and his deep connection to his homeland. In 1926, Malczewski was honored with the Order of Polonia Restituta, one of Poland's highest civilian awards, in recognition of his contributions to the nation's cultural heritage. This accolade was a fitting tribute to an artist whose work had so profoundly captured the spirit of Poland. Jacek Malczewski passed away on October 8, 1929, in Kraków at the age of 75. His death marked the end of an era, but his legacy lived on through his art, his students, and the indelible mark he left on Polish culture. Malczewski's impact on Polish art and culture cannot be overstated. As one of the pioneers of Polish symbolism, he helped define a distinctly Polish artistic identity during a time of political and cultural upheaval. His paintings, with their rich symbolism and emotional depth, continue to resonate with audiences, offering a window into the complexities of the Polish experience. Malczewski's work played a crucial role in preserving and celebrating Polish culture during the partitions. His depictions of Polish history, folklore, and landscapes served as a source of inspiration and pride for his compatriots, helping to sustain a sense of national identity during difficult times. While firmly rooted in symbolism, Malczewski's art was marked by a willingness to experiment and innovate. His use of allegory, mythology, and personal symbolism set him apart from his contemporaries and influenced subsequent generations of artists. As a teacher at the Kraków Academy of Fine Arts, Malczewski nurtured a new generation of Polish artists, many of whom went on to achieve significant acclaim. His emphasis on individuality and creativity helped shape the trajectory of Polish art in the 20th century. Today, Jacek Malczewski is regarded as one of Poland's greatest painters, a master whose work continues to inspire and captivate. His paintings are housed in major museums and collections, including the National Museum in Kraków and the National Museum in Warsaw, where they are celebrated as treasures of Polish art. Malczewski's life and work stand as a testament to the power of art to transcend time and place, offering insights into the human condition and the enduring spirit of a nation. In his exploration of identity, mythology, and history, he created a body of work that remains as relevant and compelling today as it was in his own time. As we reflect on the life of Jacek Malczewski, we see an artist who, through his dedication and vision, not only captured the essence of his era, but also laid the foundation for future generations to explore the intersection of art, culture, and identity. His legacy is a reminder of the enduring power of creativity to inspire, heal, and unite. A fitting tribute to a man who devoted his life to the pursuit of artistic and national expression.